Hey everybody, it's Shaman Sister Sin, and you're listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, Little Shaman. Today I want to talk to you about how narcissistic abuse can change you. It's not uncommon for people in narcissistic environments or relationship of any kind to feel that they're different than they were when the relationship first began, or if the relationship is family, to feel that they were prevented from becoming the person they could have been. Narcissistic abuse creates a huge amount of stress in somebody's life. That in and of itself can be very damaging. Pathologically narcissistic people are never satisfied. They're never happy, and they often intentionally hurt and sabotage other people. The victim is left with the idea that nothing they do is ever good enough, that they must be perfect in order to be of any value. People who are subjected to narcissistic abuse are continuously required to push their own feelings, needs, and wants out of the way, to push them aside for the narcissistic person, to push their identity to the side, to put themselves on the back burner. They are told that it's wrong to have these things, to do these things, that they're selfish and cruel and abusive just for being human. Self-esteem and self-worth suffer immensely in a narcissistic environment precisely because nobody is allowed to just be a human being. There are no mistakes allowed in the life with a narcissist. There are no flaws allowed and absolutely no failures of any kind. These things will be severely punished. Not only will your own failures be held against you, but so will the failures of the narcissist. This results in a situation where people are repeatedly savaged and punished for no reason at all, which creates not just anxiety and fear, but huge amounts of anger. Being treated unfairly causes large amounts of anger. A narcissistic environment can also become a situation where one person is scapegoated for the failures of all of the people in the entire group. This is not uncommon at all in families or work environments, and it's caused by a narcissistic defense mechanism called splitting. For example, one person in the family, often a child, is chosen to carry and be responsible for all the negative qualities of the entire family, and most especially the narcissist, and that person is mistreated continuously. We're going to talk more about that in a future video. Most narcissists are themselves victims of narcissistic abuse and or emotional neglect. We can simply look to them to see the wreckage and the damage caused by narcissistic abuse. It creates a person who feels unloved, invalidated, invisible, and very, very angry. They know they've been cheated and they want revenge. They want what they believe they're due. The difference is that narcissists tank this anger and entitlement out on the entire world at large because they have no way to separate themselves from it and no perspective regarding their own feelings. For narcissists, their own feelings are the only thing that matters. They also believe these should be the only thing that matter to anybody else. People who are not narcissistic may still feel unloved, invalidated, and angry, but they also understand that everyone in the world did not hurt them and not everyone deserves abuse simply because they are hurt. They're still able to love and care for others. They are still able to understand the feelings and situations of others and to keep their own feelings in perspective. Narcissistic abuse can result in feeling anxious or panicky, hypervigilant, and distrustful. It can cause irritability, a general feeling of tension and fear, even insomnia or nightmares. Some people might find themselves emotionally burned out and unable to get close to other people. They can feel stuck and unable to move forward or make even simple decisions. They might find themselves inordinately focused on themselves, preoccupied with their own feelings or needs, and in general, exhibiting narcissistic tendencies or traits because, again, narcissism is a defense mechanism. It's also not uncommon for those who have been exposed to narcissistic abuse or who have been living in a narcissistic environment for a long period of time to be diagnosed with PTSD, which is not surprising. It's like living in a war zone. These things can change a person. However, the good news is that it doesn't have to stay that way. Unlike pathologically narcissistic people, those who do not have personality disorders are able to see that there has been a change in the way they see things and in their own behavior. People with personality disorders or very high levels of narcissism are, of course, unable to see a change in themselves because there has been no change. This is how they've always been. Those who are more emotionally developed and mature than narcissists are able to recognize the issue. They have a goal, a quote normal that they can focus on returning to. For narcissists, being broken, hostile, distrustful, and paranoid is their normal. This is why changing narcissistic behaviors or perceptions is much easier in people who are not pathologically narcissistic. They are whole, therefore they can heal. Pathologically narcissistic people are not whole. They are shattered personas walking around doing everything they can to get other people to fulfill their needs because they can't do it themselves. This is the key to recovering from narcissistic abuse or anything else. Recognizing that you can take care of your own needs and solve your own problems. You can sustain yourself. You don't have to wait around for someone to care enough to do it for you. The only other thing you need besides this knowledge is time. If we look at the lessons that these relationships teach us, we have a wonderful opportunity to do work on ourselves to prevent this kind of thing from happening again. We have a wonderful opportunity to be able to correct the problems within ourselves that make us vulnerable for this type of relationship and this type of abuse. We can learn a lot from the narcissist if we are able to see past our own pain. We can become better, more self-sustaining people for having known them. I hope this clears a few things up for you. As always, I look forward to your comments, questions, and suggestions, so please keep those coming. If you'd like to book an appointment with me, go to littleshaman.org and select the bookings tab to go ahead and do that. You've been listening to the Meditations and More podcast, brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, Little Shaman. May the Great Spirit bless you and have a wonderful day.